So today marks a pretty historic day where the Bank of Canada has finally reduced its interest rate from its record high 5% in the last few years to 4.75%. Now, we are finally starting to see a little bit of easing in inflation and other things. So the Bank of Canada has shown a little bit of relaxation. Are we going to continue to drop? Are we going to continue to see more activity in the Calgary real estate market? Well, that is to be determined. If you have any questions about your interest rate and what that might mean for you personally, I would strongly recommend that you go ahead and reach out to your mortgage broker. The Calgary real estate market is not slowing down. The detached price for a home in Calgary is $761,800, up $10,600 from last month and up almost $88,000 from last year. But let's remember their attributes. So this has been very fascinating. Last video, I was actually super confused about what was going on with the market report. I found out from the Calgary Real Estate Board that they actually changed a lot of the attributes for the market. So you can see here that there was 3 changes for the detached market. It got a little bit bigger, it got a little bit smaller lot, and then it got a little bit older, right? So it went from 1996 to 1995, which is kind of interesting. Maybe I got that incorrect, but the square footage got a little bit bigger, which is quite common. I'm seeing that quite a bit. So the Calgary Real Estate Board actually sent me this lovely document, which was a headache to try to go through and try to find all the data. So what I'm going to do for all my viewers is I've actually gone through and I've put it into a very pretty looking style. You got northwest, north, northeast, east, city center, west, city of Calgary, which is the total. I did the detached market, and then I did all the changes from 2022. I did the semi-detached market and all the changes from 2022. The townhouse market, all the changes from 2022. If we go down here, I did the apartment market and then all the changes from 2022. So if you have any questions and you want to reach or look at this document yourself, I am more than happy to share that with you. Just reach out. The email is right here. So with that being said, my name is Adam Fyfe, your Calgary Realtor. As you can tell, I take this very seriously. I try my best to provide value-driven content for my consumers and my viewers out there who are looking to consume this type of content. So if you have any questions, you want to know what your home is worth, you want to know what's going on in this market, you want to know what to do if you plan on getting into the market, go ahead and reach out. I promise I take this very seriously, and I want to make sure that my viewers are the most educated out of everyone talking about the market. So if you want to know what the Calgary real estate market has said about this, go ahead and pause the video, read this on your own, or skip to the next chapter, or listen to me read. The gain in detached sales for home priced over $700,000 was not enough to offset pullbacks across the lower price ranges as year-over-year sales declined by 7%. At the same time, new listings rose enough to cause the sales to new listing ratio to drop to 68%, supporting inventory growth. However, inventory levels for homes priced below $600,000 continue to fall, accounting for only 13% of the detached market. With just over 1 month of supply, the detached market continues to favor the seller and prices continue to rise. As of May, the unadjusted benchmark price is $761,800, over 1% higher than last month and 13% higher than prices reported last year. Prices improved across most districts. Okay, so let's take a peek at this graph here. So you can see that the price point is continuing to increase at a pretty record pace. You can see that the inventory actually increased quite a bit, actually, a nice little amount. We didn't quite get to the levels that we saw in the summer of last year, but it is going up. I would imagine this inventory is also caused by the rate announcement today. People wanted to know if the rates were going to stay where they're at or they're going to drop. I would imagine that next month we're probably going to see this fall as more people are most likely going to get into the market now that they see that the interest rates have fallen. So be prepared for that. You can see that the sales really didn't increase from April to May all that much. But then at the same time, you look at May to June last year, they really didn't increase that much as well. So let's continue on here. This information is the same information as this graph, just in a written fashion, and it also adds the days on market, which I like. So you can see for the month, we had 1,300 sales, we had 2,000 new listings, and we had almost 1,600 leftover homes at the end of the month, okay? 18 days on market, very fast market. If you look at the days on market last year, even though our inventory is up, it is a very fast market. On average, things are selling condition waiver within 18 days. Okay, you've got the benchmark price at 761, you've got the median price up to 730, and then you have the average price up to 822. So we're seeing increases basically across the board. Now, if we look at total sales in Calgary, this is a year-to-date chart. You can see that the detached market is increased from last year, but not by that much. If you look at this one here, you can see the apartments have also increased, but we're just crunching on detached today. I do like to see that the new listings have upticked as a whole, but if you look at the detached market, they're relatively the same from last year. If you look at this here, right, you can see that the detached has been very low, historically low, to what we're used to seeing, especially 21, 22. So it's nice to see an uptick from last year, but it's just not enough to offset the demand that's going in this market. So this is the inventory and the leftover homes at the end of the month. I had a comment before on my YouTube video about someone stating that the increase in population is actually contributing to the amount of homes left over at the end of the month because there's more people moving here. So even if the numbers are similar to last year, you have to realize that we have way more people in the city now. So that actually makes this number even lower because the ratio is bigger, because I guess smaller, because that there's more people moving here. I thought that was a really interesting comment. So you can see the red bar is a trend. You can see that we've kind of somewhat flattened out over the last couple of months, not by much. It'll be interesting to see if we increase in inventory or months of supply like we did last year. It's very common for us to increase in like October, November, December when the holiday season comes up. I would imagine we're probably going to stay relatively low for the next 3 months. That's just my assumption. So with that being said, this chart here is just a snapshot of the single family homes. So you can see that we are relatively the same in year-to-date sales for the detached. We're up considerable. We're up almost 17.5% up to 4.4 billion. It's great to see new listings upticked ever so slightly to 7,200. Inventory, we have less inventory compared to last year. And again, we have more people moving here now. Months of supply, we're at 108, which is gnarly. It's a very fast market for detached homes in Calgary as a whole. Sales to new listing ratio is actually relatively the same. So the same amount of homes are selling that were in last year. You can see the sales to list price has increased by quite a bit, 1%. And that's pretty large increase when you start to consider how expensive a lot of these homes are, right? You're looking at 700,000. 1% on 700,000 is a lot more than 1% on 300,000. Days on market average for year to date is 22. And then the benchmark price averages, which we don't really touch on because I don't like the year to date. I like the actual number of the month. So with that being said, this is a months of supply. So we're just going to concentrate on this portion here. So just gives you a kind of a visualization of what's going on with the months of supply here in Calgary. You can see that everything is mainly hovering around that 1 month when you got southeast and east being the fastest moving markets. City center is always going to be the slowest. It has the most amount of product and it's usually the most expensive compared to other quadrants. So with that being said, you can see that for some reason, right, north and northwest are slower compared to other other quadrants. Very sought after communities. North has a little bit more affordable homes than northwest, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Benchmark price, I don't know what that even means. Benchmark price, you can see that the city center and west have a similar benchmark price, but it is very important to remember that we have attributes. To see if that was the next slide here. So like I mentioned before, we have attributes, and it's very important to remember that we need to put those attributes into play. So even though we have a similar benchmark price, the attributes, if I go down here, and I've kind of changed this up a little bit, I've actually put it to make it a little bit more legible for people who might not understand like the north and northwest, west, and city center. So you can see that even just looking at the years built, west has 2,000 and city center has 1955. So there's a very large difference in year built, yet the west has a similar benchmark price. So if you start to actually increase the year built in city center, the pricing is going to be more than what it is in west because you want to start to balance it out. You can see that there are some changes here in both the lot size as well as the square footage. I'm going to get into that in another video. I'm going to record a separate video just going over some of the changes. But yes, this project was time consuming, but definitely worth it to learn about and see all these changes. So with that being said, let's see if I can go down here. If you are curious of what your home is valued at, thank you so much. We've had so many people fill this in over the last 48 hours. It's honestly mind-blowing how many people reach out and trust me to just give them valuable information, no BS, straight to the point. If you're looking for insight, I'm happy to help. If you're not looking for insight, you're just kicking tires, totally fine. Thank you very much for everyone who has utilized this software and just trusted me with that. Now, this chart here is a little different. We're not going to go over the month-over-month changes because they actually changed the benchmark attributes. It's very difficult for me to take last month's and then minus it from this month. So we were doing that manually every single month, and it just doesn't make sense because the attributes are different. So we're not going to do the actual numbers this month. We're only going to look at some of these other numbers. So sales new listings, sales new listing ratio. Again, you can see even in the city center, there's only 56% of homes sold in the last 1 month. Right? On average, you're only seeing 68% across the entire city. So it is important that you're still pricing your home correctly, because this is dropped considerable. Yes, pricing has increased, but you don't want to go out and ask too much for your home and get stuck on the market, because let's just call it 30% of homes didn't sell, and a lot of people are expecting to sell. Inventories are still relatively low, right? You got your city center with the most amount of inventory. You got east with only 35 homes. You've got your months of supply. You can see again, east, southeast, west, all seeing under 1 month. You got city center looking at 1.9, still a seller's market at 1.9, but it's not nearly as fast as a 0.8. You got your benchmark prices. So again, we looked at the city center and then we looked at west. But if you were to put if you were to put the city center attributes as west, then the city center would be easily over $1 million, right? Easily. So you really want to make sure that, yes, you see these prices, but yes, you're putting them over those attributes and getting a good understanding of what you actually get in that quadrant. Year-over-year price gain, month over month, every quadrant has seen an increase in price. This month, I just don't have those physical numbers. So next month, we'll resume back to how we usually do it. Now, moving forward here, you can see that this is the year-over-year detached price change chart. Pretty interesting stuff, actually. If you look at the average price, you can see a pretty large increase in that green bar there, kind of going back to some normals here. For some reason, the average year-over-year price change dropped significantly. The benchmark year-over-year is on kind of a small little decline there, right? If you kind of look, it might be leveling out a little bit. We're still in that double-digit price growth year-over-year price change. It'll be interesting to see if we kind of tick back up, if the interest rate really does affect how many people didn't get into this market. So let's just make sure to keep an eye out on that. And then the median price change had a sharp fall this year, and I'm not sure where that's going to go, but I would imagine it's probably going to tick back up a little bit. So this is a similar thing, but it's just the price. You can see that the red bar here, 2021 increase. We had a slowdown for interest rates. We had a little bit of a slowdown at the end of the year, and then this year it's taking off. So where are we going to land? Hard to say. I see a lot of speculations in the comments, and I appreciate those people that actually, comment on the video and give me your thought process. It really does make me think. It allows me an opportunity to do additional research, and appreciate that. I really do. Excuse me. So thank you very much for everyone who has been a part of this journey. I really appreciate it. I hope you get a lot of value from these videos. If you like what you see, comment below. Let me know that you like it. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. If not, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.